Today I have Tracy Wilson and Matt Harvey, who are both veterans who farm in Vigo County, and hopefully we'll have Brandon Hall come a little bit later. But I thought that we could go ahead and start with our first discussion question, or our first panel question. What did you do before you got involved in agriculture, starting with Tracy?
Well, I joined the Navy right after high school, so that was in 1989. And then I went to college right after I got home from the Navy, and that was in 1996. I had a few part-time jobs during my Navy stint. I worked as a trail guide, I bartended, and I was a boat driver for the MWR. That was all part-time. So during college, I went ahead, I missed the military, so I joined the Indiana Army National Guard, and I worked as a diesel mechanic. That's what I started out as, enlisted there. And so I was a traditional soldier, so it was the whole 2 weeks a year, which really isn't 2 weeks, but it's more like a month. And then once a month, on the weekends. And so for money, I guess, I trained horses and I gave riding lessons. In 2015, in 2007, I went to warrant officer school, and so that was kind of a big boost in my career there in the Guard. So, and then we got deployed to Iraq just right after that in 2008. So I spent a year away at that point. And then in 2015, I ended up retiring from the military, from the Guard, with 23 good years in, and 10 of that active. So I guess before that, in 2001, I was hired by White Violet Center, the Sisters of Providence, their grounds, and I worked as their herd manager for about 15 years. So in 2015, I also kind of retired from that too. I still work for White Violet on contract now, but so leaving there gave me the opportunity to expand the farm that we live on, and that's enough.
Thank you. Matt, do you want to go ahead with what did you do before you got involved with agriculture?
Well, I did fabricating and welding, interstate welding, had helped build 2 of the local schools in Vigo County. There was Franklin Elementary, and there was Fayette Elementary, and there was also Consolidated there. So it had been 3 schools. And ended up going to the military. I joined the United States Army and became an infantryman, did airborne school, and I ended up deploying in 2008, 2009 to Afghanistan. I got my hands into the soil and helped out with healing and dirt therapy. I was going through divorce, losing soldiers, and just the stress of war. And went back to Fort Benning, Georgia, and it wasn't too much longer that I had gotten medically retired. Actually, it was about 2 years, but I got medically retired. And I'd also done firefighting. I was a volunteer. So I learned some skills there that I've used on the farm. And here I'm trying to run my own organic farm up north, and just try to help people as I go.
Thank you. I'm going to move us on to the next question, which is, what is the most important thing that you've learned and what is your biggest success? Starting with Matt, do you feel like going up again?
It doesn't matter. That's fine.
Go for it.
So the biggest thing I've learned, and things that kind of can bobble in my head is when I went to Ivy Tech, have many different instructors and, many different techniques saying what's the right way to go about this, what isn't. And sometimes if, conventional, it's all, tillage and spray where tillage is okay, but in organic, you always want to try and have a living soil. So I've learned that, and through the past years, I've learned more, about building soil, through cover cropping and, the extension and former instructors, John Rosine and Greg, and I've also had Brandon as an instructor, Brandon Hall. But I think, on the job training, and when you learn from your mistakes, and you can, when you're able to see what you're doing and you learn from those mistakes. I've been doing this about 5 years, and I'm still learning and still going. I'm still trying to build a farm. Did I answer your question?
Yes, but you didn't hit on your biggest success.
What's that? Which one's that?
Oh, well, I mean, like, what do you consider your biggest success? Because you mentioned what you learned and how going to Ivy Tech and being exposed to those really influential, great teachers changed your behavior. But what do you consider your biggest success?
I consider my biggest success is, the farm that I own and making it our showpiece. It takes time, but I've also had others that want me to farm their ground. And there was that Tiff Hay that I had showed you, and that ground that was 5 for pH, that was 5.0, and that
That's
ground
super low.
Huh?
That's really low.
Yeah. Well, I've raised the organic matter and the pH, and when I tilled it to plant the alfalfa, the soil was a whole lot darker instead of being white. Just cover cropping it and knowing what to do, and people were coming and asking me, what they should do. And so maybe I'm becoming a subject matter expert. I don't know. I just try to give people my honest opinion about it and just be humble.
Yeah.
I really enjoy our farm, and when people come out to it, and it makes me more motivated that people are paying attention. So,
Tracy, do you feel like can you touch on things that you've learned and your biggest success?
Yeah, and some of that what Matt was saying was about educating yourself. That's huge, and as one of the most important things that I've learned is you continually have to educate yourself on whatever you're doing, whatever agriculture project that you're doing. So whether it be animals or plants or the soil, it's constantly evolving, and you have to constantly educate yourself. And then I also learned a lot of patience. It goes a long ways, and learning when to keep your mouth shut and your ears open. A lot of times, because there's a lot of people out there that you want to say they know what to do, and you just don't argue with them. You just kind of listen, and you take from it what you can use. So a lot of listening too. My biggest success is my 4-H. I never dreamed that I would have worked in being a part of 4-H. like I have been, for the last 9+ years. Because I don't have kids of my own. So being able to teach these kids about patience and about where their food comes from, and how to treat farm animals, because farm animals, are also, they're part of the earth, and they should be treated with, respect and gratitude. And when kids get to know an animal personally, whether it be a calf or a goat or, alpacas and llamas, um, they see that there's an individual, inside that animal, and they're worthy of respect and gratitude. Gratitude is, I don't think we're thankful enough for our food, whether it be a plant or an animal. We should be very thankful for that, for whoever, number one, whoever grew that plant or animal. And there's just a little bit of a deeper relationship that you can have with your food. And so being able to have kids, around in the 4-H program, and having them be able to come out to the farm and seeing some different types of livestock, and understanding some of those other things that have to do with the animals and the way they live, and and how we can make their lives better on the farm, taking care of them and giving them a nice place to live out, whatever life they have, I guess. But yeah, that is my biggest success so far is 4-H.
Well, I mean, you do have a really strong alpaca program, and I think that COVID-19 has really emphasized to the world how important agriculture is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
realize,
definitely.
like that those people around you, that they do a lot, and food doesn't grow from the grocery store, and someone works very, very hard to give you a valuable, nutritious product. And I think the threat of losing that has pivoted the eye towards agriculture, which is a wonderful thing for us to receive the
Right.
that we've deserved all along. Last question. How did being a military veteran prepare you for a life in agriculture? Tracy, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. I guess there's the obvious. If we have veterans listening, or watching this, you always think, well, there's leadership, and there's, and there's planning, and there's preparing, and that's all part of it. I mean, there is a process to everything that you do on the farm, and you do need a plan, and you do need to prepare. And one thing you do need to prepare is for when your plan, doesn't work or won't work. And then you have to come up with plan A, plan B, or C. So definitely the all of that planning and preparing is good. And also communication, whether you're communicating with fellow agriculture experts, or your local farmers around you, or you have clients. A lot of times, like I do shearing, so you have to have good communication skills to have good communication with your clients, but also your FSA, your extension office, your USDA, your NRCS. Those are all people that you can pull from, and having good communication and communication skills is only going to enhance that relationship. So because those are people that you really need when you are working in agriculture. Okay, and beyond that, I want to plug in staying fit. I can't express, how much that it means to stay fit in your mind, in your body, in your soul, wherever that takes you. Whether it's stepping on and off of a tractor every day, or baling hay, or putting up feed bags, or after you went to the feed store, to lessen the amount of injury to your body, means that you have to do some sort of staying fit. And I'm pushing 50, so I know you just got to keep going. You just got to keep doing, keep going, keep doing. But staying fit is if you like what you do and you want to do it for a long time, that's something that needs to be. You need to make that little time slot, in your day or your week, to try to keep your body up to par, and also things in your mind, and then and I put it on your soul. It depends on if you're if you're whatever religion you are, take time to do that too, because that is a big part of your health. All of it is. Okay, lastly, and then I'll be quiet. One thing I did is a huge thing is farming is never a 9-to-5 job. It's neither was anything I did in the military. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night when something broke down, and I've slept in the barn with a sick animal, and my vet's been out at 1 a.m. tending to a dystocia, on an alpaca, and he was out on Thanksgiving Day one day. I felt really bad, but that's his job too. And if it's going to freeze in May and you just put out 300 tomato plants, you're going to be out there all day or all night or whatever it takes you to cover those up so that they don't get, they don't get bit. It's never 9-to-5. Sometimes I don't even know what day it is. And, holidays are great, and you want to spend time with family, and most of the time that works, and that and that'll happen. But Christmas Eve, I buried an animal on Christmas Eve, one year, and there just never is it's not downtime, because you do have downtime. Sometimes your winter time is your downtime, and your rest of your year is running crazy, but you're always on call, I guess, is what I'm going to say. You're always on call. And but people who like to work in agriculture, they I think they know that, and they're just willing to make that a lifestyle, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Matt, can you share with us how being a military veteran has prepared you for a life in agriculture?
Absolutely. When I got out of the military, I needed a new mission. And I noticed that the food supply had been compromised. I was seeing some movies or propaganda, Death by China, and our food, as in just all the chemicals, people getting sick, and autism on the rise. It's like, what's causing all this? Well, Roundup and Monsanto became popular in 1990, as in spraying and the GMOs and all that. So that's why I decided to become a organic farmer. That way I could try to feed the community. That was going to be my new mission, to be able to feed you, the general populace that's local around here, like family. Be able to have you come out and see our farm. And if you're wanting to start a farm, don't expect anything to happen fast, because you'll be frustrated all the time. It'll take a lot of your money, a lot of your time, and you just got to keep on going. Just suck it up, drive on, and have the determination that's what you want to do. And it works for me, because I was able to buy a farm. I have enough room. I am for myself. It's peaceful. I'm working with animals in the soil. It's been very therapeutic for post-traumatic stress, but there's always something to do on a farm, not to double tap, but I mean, vacations, it's not necessarily a 9 to 5. If you want to have a vacation, you have to plan ahead and have people that's reliable, or, a farmhand that's reliable, and things always go south. But I've learned, a lot from, doing it, and it can be very rewarding, but it's also very challenging. That just keeps you going on, and you get to see your fruits of your labor. So that's all I got.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Those are the three questions that I wanted to cover today. Just reinforcing that being a veteran builds a skill set, and those skill sets don't have to leave with you leaving the military. They have application and use in agriculture, which is a field that can always use a couple more farmers.
Absolutely. I don't see how a lot of people get into agriculture, because it's very tough, as in being an entrepreneur, as in, buying equipment and all that, and the land. It's like, I'm just highly in debt, and I'm not thrilled about it, but, anything worth having is what it is. And it's all good if you can get started and you have a family farm. I mean, that's all great that you can take over, but I'm starting from scratch. It's very expensive, and trying to build the capital and all that. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from doing it, but I can start small, see if you like it. There's programs out there, and reach out to people, as in whether it be Purdue, or just go down to your local NRCS or USDA office and see what's available. There's grants that are available to some, and there's programs as in for beginning farmers and whatever. Doesn't Purdue still put on like the beginning farmer diet?
They have the Small Farms Conference, which I've heard from numerous small farmers is life-changing. I also got a compliment, side note, I got a compliment from one of the state coordinators saying, you bullied so many people into coming. And I'm like, I did. I bullied a lot of people into coming. They told me that they were there. So the Small Farms Conference is mostly an exchange of ideas. So it's small farmers getting together and talking. That's one of the main missions, is just to put them all in the same room and to just get them talking of, well, I didn't try that and it didn't work. Or, well, what if you tried it this way? Just spiraling in ideas. And the Small Farms Conference, I cannot say enough good things about it. It's a great place for people to get together and just get mentorship, support, ideas, a friend that you call when it's been like 3 all-nighters. It's that place where you develop friendships and mentorships. So yes, there is the Small Farms Conference.
Yeah, it's always important to have. I'm sure that there's been times, Tracy, where you felt like you wanted to throw in the towel, but
yeah.
But it's like you're so far invested, getting out now.
Right. Because I am not money I'm not money motivated, which is a double-edged sword. That's good in ways, and it's not so good, I guess, in ways. And I hate even saying, about people who get into agriculture. It's usually because they have a drive, a want, something has motivated them, and it's not usually money. You know what I mean? It's good to make money. You have to pay your bills. I get it. I need to pay my bills. But the people I talk to usually have a huge heart for the land or the livestock, which is great. And so when you can reach out to somebody, and when you're having a really bad day, and you can reach out to a fellow farmer, that's a big deal.
I think that's one of the big things that people are trying to cultivate or bring back is the network of having a fellow farmer or just a network, a support network. Because that's, especially in this age of technology, we're all starting to turn, especially COVID-19, we're all starting to realize the true value of having that network, whether being a person similar to you or someone who has way more experience than you, but just having someone to turn to.
Yeah, absolutely. I still contact my instructors every once in a while. It's like, what do you think about this? Or, whatever it is, or other veteran fellow farmers, whether it's saying just kicking a price around, do you think it's too high or am I overshooting the bar? That's always very helpful with that. So, but as in run the farm, don't expect to make a whole lot of money, especially at first. Just be high. You just know that you're going to have to start small. One good thing about having a farm is you get to buy some big boy toys and be able to ride it off, as in tractors, backhoes, whatever, but just enjoying what you do. Make that the reason to drive and, have a mission of why you're doing it other than the money.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, and people will catch wind of you and you'll gain popularity or people's trust. If they know their farmer, then they know their food.
Yep.
Did either one of you have any more comments, feelings, thoughts to say for the good of the cause?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions or they want any knowledge, you can contact me at Harvey Farms Organic Farm, on Facebook. I'll be happy. I can try to help you, or you can come out and see us at the farm, and be happy to show you around. Or if you're wanting to start, a veteran farmer, or just you want to try it without the expense, come out. We'll get your hands in the soil. I'll let you know what stuff costs, and just be real with you and see if that's something that you want to do. But it's at 8535 Greencastle Road, Terre Haute, Indiana.
Tracy?
I'm same here. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody that wants to ask questions about, I guess, the different things that I do. But one of the last words I guess I want to say is, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing, is working with whether it's just working in the dirt or working with animals, has a lot of healing power to it. And so talking to a lot of veterans, if you're coming out of some stressful situations, out of the military, or people, animals, if you let them, animals can change a lot of different things in your heart, and they heal a lot of different problems and feelings that people have. And I know that because I'm one of those people. And if it wasn't for some of the animals that I have, my life may not be as it is today. I'll just say that. And so it has a lot of healing power to it. And That's why it's worth it. So that's my last word.
Well, thank you both for covering those questions and for being transparent and genuine. It's appreciated.
Yes,
Hey,
thank you
one
for
last
having
thing.
me. Mhm.
All right. With that, this concludes the Veterans in Agriculture series, and all this information will be on YouTube. I would really appreciate any efforts to circulate it because it's all about veterans specifically, but where they can go in agriculture, which is anywhere. But sometimes you just need someone to remind you that there's options and support, and it's all there. You might not know about it, but it's there. All
Hey,
right.
one
Well,
last thing.
what was that?
So one last thing, one thing I really enjoy most about my farm is, raising my kids and, be able to share the experiences and through them, they're 3 and 5 and the stars around, our farm, if you watch us on Facebook, whatever, but I don't think there's a better way to raise a family than to have a farm, and if that's something that you long for, you want to get out of the city and you deal with post-traumatic stress and whatever. Once again, I just start out small. See, you don't let the animals heal you. Get your hands in the soil. Network, but
Mhm.
make sure that's what you want to do, and just have an open mind and just want to learn. So, and there'll be frustrations along the road. So just don't give up. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much.